right? Cloud before I bring him in here. So he's right here with us. So um, to start video. So Mr. Adebayo, I'm sending a request to you to start your video, right? Okay, so good afternoon, sir. How are you doing, sir? Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me now? Good afternoon.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. So yeah, good afternoon, and thank you for giving us your time to have this session with our students. So Mr. Adebayo is an highly experienced cybersecurity professional, as I've introduced you to him to us, and he has been around for quite a long time. He has worked with many companies and government agencies in the UK, and he's coming around this evening is to help people with knowledge and with information as regards navigating the job opportunities, especially in the UK job market, especially in the UK job market. And aside from the fact that he's a professional, he also has a passion for coaching people, and he has done that through the church platform, and he's also here to help students of digital with this. So we will be seeing him um, most times once in 2 weeks as regards this coaching session. So I've said a lot about you, but they have to hear it from the horse's mouth, right? So the first question tonight is, who is Mr. Adebayo? Who are you, sir? Let me start from there.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, the time has changed. So I wanted to say evening, but it's afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, I'd say it's a great privilege to be here. I've spoken at length with Mr. Yomi, and we've seen the vision. It's a very great vision. And I would say a big congratulations to everyone on this platform because it's a dynamic approach that you guys are taking, and we hope and we pray we are able to deliver and you are able to also utilize what is being said and done. So, my name is Adebayo. I've been in the cyberspace since roughly, I'd say 2008. I have a B engine. I have two masters. Oh, this is not relevant anyways. I have two masters. I have about, I think, 9 certifications, mostly in cloud and cloud security and cyber security. I've worked with different agencies, both government in Nigeria and government in the UK, also in the private sector. So I've seen both sides of the coin, and I'll be able to share my view on what part or what view I would expect you to take and what approach I'd want you to take out. So today the topic is I would say navigating cybersecurity job markets in the UK. So I just said a guide for international students. That's like a guide for internationals coming into the UK. So um I'll be breaking it down into about 6, 7 points. So the first thing I would just want to ask a bit of questions. So I just gauge and see where everyone is. What do we understand by cybersecurity? I just want two answers randomly.
Okay, so students, over to you. Yeah, who wants to go for that? Wow. People that want to break in have to be aggressive. Oh, I can't see anybody raising their hands, even though I think we all know the answer.
Yeah, Abby's iPhone. Yeah, you
Okay.
could just chat it in or just type it in. It's
Yeah,
just
just drop it in the chat box. Yeah.
anyone.
Anyone, please, we have to be
We have to be like
intentional.
interactive. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, somebody has dropped a message. Oh, the message is a question. Okay, the
Uh,
question is, what do you mean by cybersecurity? What's your understanding of cybersecurity? That's the question. Okay. we're having some answers.
Okay. Just a sec. Just need to get something out here.
If you need to share your screen, I can, maybe
Yeah,
I can give you
I'll let you know when I want to
okay,
share.
when you're ready. Okay, cool.
Okay, yeah. The all the answers is it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Yeah, cybersecurity, security, the securing systems infrastructure, cyber attack. Yeah, that's good, that's good. So basically, cybersecurity is just ensuring confidentiality, integrity, and availability. It's been maintained on all assets. So it's been maintained on all assets. That's I would say that's a simple definition, not going in depth. But when we talk about cybersecurity, it can be broken into 1 million fields. So the first one you could say, well, you're a cyber guy, but you're focused on application. So when we talk about the application aspect of cybersecurity, we are talking about the DevSecOps guy, the security code auditor, the security software developers. When we are talking about the architects, we are talking about the cybersecurity architects, the senior security architects. When we are talking about audit, we're talking about the security audit. When we're talking about cloud, we're talking about the cloud security architect, cloud security engineer. So there are other fields we could go into: compliance, education, engineering, investigation, networking, offensive, operations, privacy, sales, and threat. So I just wanted you guys to just know that you could go into these vast areas of cybersecurity just because most jobs go with their subtitle, not the main header of cybersecurity. So you could go and look for a job now that could target privacy analyst. It's a cybersecurity professional's job. But if you type cybersecurity, you are not going to see anything on privacy analyst. So you could also go into sales. Let's say you have a background in sales, you could go into cybersecurity sales, which is one of the, I'll say, the most it's one of the lucrative I would say sectors there where people are making in more monies now because people are selling products like software as a service to companies now. So that's what the sales do. We've all heard about Salesforce, WhatsApp, Gmails, and product like that. So those are works of cyber sales. And once there's a cyber sales, there's also a cyber account manager. So your job as a cyber account manager is to make sure your client is being satisfied or is utilizing this product to the maximum and they are getting things out of it. So now I'll just that's just a brief understanding to I would say to make our mind wider on
Mm.
cybersecurity. So now let's understand the cybersecurity in the UK. So cybersecurity in UK is very vast and I would say also very narrow. So the UK market is a market that I would say specializes, focus on more specialization. So for
Mm.
instance, you can say you're a cybersecurity guy. Well, what do you focus on? What's your specialty in cybersecurity? Oh, I'm a cloud guy. What platform are you a cloud guy on? Are you on AWS? Are you on Alibaba? Are you on GCP? Are you on Microsoft? So you need to also know what you specialize on. So most mistakes we've seen is people generalizing. So you need to understand what I'll say, okay, what part of the CIA triad you want to focus on? Let me just use that part. Are you focusing on confidentiality? When you focus on confidentiality, there's a long way to go. Are you focusing on integrity? There's a long way to go. Integrity, you now start looking at, are you an encryption engineer? Are you a token expert? Look at availability. Availability, I'll say, falls under the networking aspect. Are you the one creating access? Are you the one doing what's it called? Access controls and labels to asset and digitals. So those are things we you need to like pinpoint where you want to go into. So I would say the UK market is one of the I would say the youngest market now because currently the government have said, oh, from now to 2030. Can you let me share my screen? I just want to show some
Okay,
documentations.
so what I'll do now is I'll make you the host so you
Okay.
can get the screen then, yeah. Okay.
Okay. So let me see, because I just uh see, comes back up. Yeah, can you see my screen now?
I can see it very clearly. Clearly.
Yeah, so there's a document released by the government saying, oh, cybersecurity, no, it's gone again.
Okay, that's it. Um, yeah, sorry, I tampered with something there. Yeah, I'll
That's it.
make it awesome. So what I will do now is, okay, now you can share it now. Try it again.
Okay.
Work on it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
can you
think
see
it's
it?
up to share now.
Yeah, so what this
Yeah.
document simply says is cybersecurity resilience of the UK critical national infrastructure. So what you're saying is that, oh, in the UK, there's a long way, there's a project we need to do. We are far behind where we need to be, that by 2030, we need to have gotten to this
Mm,
place. We need to
mm,
have gotten to this level. And if you know the three P's in, I'll say, cybersecurity are people, processes, no, people, processes, and technologies. I don't know what it's called. So when we have technologies, we need people to be there. So people is one of the, I would say, the huge shortage being
mm.
experienced in the UK. And now I would be sending some links to Mr. Yomi, which he would share later with everyone.
Yeah,
So
I'll be sharing on the group. Yeah, just send it. Yeah.
okay, so the first thing is to know that, oh, there's the demand for it in the UK. That's the first thing we need to understand, that from now to 2030, the government is saying, oh, we need people to do this, or we need um capable hands. So that now takes us to what's the definition of capable hands. So capable hands are people with the right skill set, with the right mindset, and with the right skill to learn. So in cybersecurity doesn't, you don't stop when you get a job. I
Mm,
would say it's one of the most demanding um demanding field in life. It has to do with something called continuous learning. You learn every day, every day, every day. Because if we look at, let's go back 3, 4 years ago, we couldn't make calls on WhatsApp. We could only send messages on WhatsApp. But because of development and everything, you can now call on WhatsApp, you can send message on WhatsApp. So that shows development. And now we are in the age of AI. So no one knows AI. Everyone's learning AI together. Everyone's
mm,
learning deepfake together. So everyone's learning it. Everyone's learning cloud computing together. So everyone's learning it. So you cannot say, oh, I have 20 years. What makes IT or cybersecurity interesting? You cannot say I have 20 years experience. Does it really matter? On what
mm,
technology is your 20 years experience? You have 20 years
mm,
experience
mm,
on Windows XP, Windows Vista. Are they currently in use? No, they're already in
mm,
end of life. So it doesn't matter.
mm,
So I'd rather get someone that has 1 month experience on let's say Windows 10 than someone that has 20 years experience on Windows Vista. So it shows you how I would say how it revolves, and how you are not out of place if continuous learning and development is one of your key strategies. So the UK market, I would say it's very open, mostly to everyone, and we are being privileged to be part of the Commonwealth. So why I say Commonwealth is, let's say someone from Mr. Yomi, I'll use the plenty. Mr. Yomi is a France citizen today. He applies for a job, and Mr. Bayo is a Nigerian, applies for a job. Mr. Bayo will be prioritized over Mr. Yomi. Firstly, the UK has left Brexit, so that law making them prioritize European citizen is being taken out. So it's now Commonwealth citizen. So who are the Commonwealth? Nigeria, Ghana, India. So Commonwealth citizens are being prioritized to get into cyber than any other place. So if you want to know how easy it is to get into cyber, if you go to the military list, you see if you are from this country, you can come. If you are from this country, you can't come. So Nigeria is part of the countries being governed by the Commonwealth law, that, oh, you can come and do certain things in the UK. You can actually vote in the UK. So that shows how powerful being from a Commonwealth country places you.
mm,
So that's something you should take advantage of when you are doing
mm,
your application or something. Mention, oh, I'm a Commonwealth member state. So it gives them that sense of belonging, because the secret information is being shared or is
mm,
being carried
mm,
along. So, who are the key players in the UK industry? I would say in the UK industry, there's something we call the critical industry. Just a minute, I'm trying to get this out of my site. So can everyone still see me?
Yeah, sure. Can see the screen.
Yes. Okay. So for the UK market, for anyone abroad, I would advise to targeting the 13 national infrastructure sector. So that is the chemical, civil, communication, defense, emergency service, energy, finance, food, government, health, space, transport, water. So currently, everyone has, I would say most people from Nigeria now will know that everyone has skilled health sector because everyone went in as a healthcare professional and everything. So it shows you how the critical infrastructure sector is easy to bring people from outside in. So these are sectors we need to look into. So you could go into the defense and say you want to be a defense cyber guy. It doesn't mean that's what they do. Energy, you could go to any energy company, go on their website. They're always looking for people there. Transport, water, space. But today I'll be taking a look into governance, into the government. So the government, I'll call it GovTech. So GovTech is one of the, I would say, the most assuring parts in the UK because you get stability, you get comfort, and also you're open to leading technologies. The government has enough money to spend on training you. So we'll just try and see some jobs and just see how, based on the job title that we tried looking at before and what they are being posting, how it differs. So before I go deeper into more presentation. So let me. So let's say this is the Gov website for civil servants now. So if I type in cyber, we have 48 search return. So let's just look at the job description just to have a faint idea. So we can see cyber senior policy maker, policy advisor, risk manager, cyber security. See, like this one now, cyber security for AI. I don't think anyone's done it before. Everyone's going to
Mm,
just learn and do it.
mm.
Threat intelligence analyst, IT security and information assurance, all these senior IT support. So now let's just change the title a bit to IT. So we have 48 here. We have 303 here. So it shows you how the right title also can make a job search easy and make it difficult. So let's just go into what is under this IT and see if it's different from cyber or it's different from what we can do. So IT infrastructure operations, IT engineer, IT security, transition manager, dispatch engineer. So let's just open anyone at random. So let me just open this one. Let's see. So let's look at the job description: maintain and troubleshoot network infrastructure suite, utilize centralized software tools, manage network server, blah blah blah, oversee, see backup. Yeah, I've gone through your syllabus, and I can confidently say 80 to 95% of this is there, especially in your first 2, 3 weeks where you'll be dealing with the networking. I've seen the DNS, the DHCP, all this there. So all these are things that I feel you should be confident at the end of this training to do. So it's just to show you that there is opportunity in the UK and there is I'd say things you can do. So the next thing I would just want to talk about is yeah, so we need to target government agencies, private mid sectors. So currently now, I know the UK has changed their visa process. And I saw this, so which says that for a company to sponsor you, let's say for 5 years, the company needs to pay £5,000 to the government first before they can sponsor an international. So what this needs to now bring to your head is, oh, me that I'm going for this job, can I put 5,000 on myself? So when you start doing self-evaluation, you start doing self-improvement also. So that's something you need to do, and you start challenging your tutors. So it's not a case of let me wait till the end. So you can start challenging your tutors, start challenging me right from today that this is this, you paid your money, you need to get value out of it. So that's one of the things I just saw today and I said I was going to bring up. So I would say where you can search for jobs, there are numerous sites you can search for jobs, especially those looking for sponsorship. I'll be dropping the links. Let me just I'll drop the links very soon. Then again, something that you need to do to stand out in the UK is join professional bodies. Joining professional bodies is going to make a whole lot of difference. So I'll be copying some of the institutes and professional bodies to join and putting it in the chat.
Okay, so while you're dropping that, I just want to ask, so you said joining professional bodies is important, but like how important? What's the strategy behind that? Could you just expatiate on that?
Okay, yeah. So joining professional bodies first, it shows your room for improvement. It shows people you are in the industry. It shows people that oh, this person is I say knows what to do, knows the industry to join. And joining these professional bodies also you get opportunities to attend seminars, you get opportunities to attend conferences organized by these professional bodies. So again, let's put it this way, there's this professional body called OWASP, that's the Open Web Application Security Project. So you can join as a member. I think it's about, I can't remember the price, but it's not up to 10, 20 pounds for 3, 4 years. So what happens is you get your workspace as a member, you get your customized email, you get your customized everything. So for instance, now you're applying for a job as a cybersecurity engineer and you're applying from your OWASP email. So it's going to be like at mryomi@owaps.gov.uk. It shows authenticity, it shows professionalism rather than you applying from your personal email. That's just the first part.
Mm,
Then again, being part of professional
mm,
bodies also shows that oh, this guy knows the industry relevant. So for instance, they could ask that, oh, what industry, I've seen a lot of applications that what industry bodies do you belong to? So there's a lot of industrial bodies you can belong to. So most people writing in this class, I think after this class, you write your CC. So writing your CC would make you to join as an associate to the ISC square. So having a member as an associate to the ISC square goes a long way. It's a total game changer. So joining a professional body, you get right information from the body, you get job posting from the body. So there are lots of companies that don't post on job boards, but post on the professional body's job board. So
mm,
people in the sector, people in the industry can get to know about it. Then again, it's also a right place for networking. So you
mm,
can see okay, auditors in UK are coming to Nottingham, for example. You get an invite, you can put in for an invite. So you go to this event, you might not say anything, but you get it. But when you are talking in an interview, you can easily say, oh, I was at this last conference. It shows professionalism that, oh, this guy
mm,
knows what he's doing. This guy knows what he's doing.
mm,
Then again, you meet people there. You meet key movers there. So there's this friend of mine, he currently switched jobs. So somebody now reached out to him and said, oh, they are looking for an IT auditor in their company. So he now said, okay, that is going to send his CV across. Guess what the man said? The man said, bother sending your CV across. I just want to know if you're interested. So it was now surprised. So the man now said, okay, we'll set up a Teams call. So when the man spoke to him, the man, all what the man said was, I've seen you in action in Sunderland. When we some other people, I've seen you in action in Sunderland. We just wanted to know if you're interested for the role. So again, going for all these professional bodies, you don't know who you might meet, you don't know who you might see. So you might be your next recruiter that might just be there, and you being at that event gives you an edge over any other person that's not been there. Again, these are just ways to put your foot in the door rather than your foot not being in the door. So you saying, oh, just like in Nigeria, you just see people saying, I'm a ACCA member, I'm a Kinikon member, I'm a this member. So it's the same thing. So you saying you belong to a cyber community goes a long way. Again, it helps in sharing open source intelligence. So you get information way more than any other person. And the UK is very, I would say very, very strong on open source intelligence. So where people get information from, how credible are your source, how credible is your link. So for instance, now I'm looking for an IT auditor now. I put IT auditor on LinkedIn. I'm very tricky here. I can go and look at his friends and see if his friends are also IT auditors. So, but if I see this person belongs to this professional body, it shows this person is taking cyber serious. It shows this person knows more about cyber than me going to your profile. I'm seeing you're following Arsenal, which they are not going to win the cup anyways because I'm Liverpool. So, so, so again, if I go to your page and I see this one is an Arsenal fan, it's not serious, Jerry. But again, it just gives me that room to be a bit biased, and that's something we don't want. We want to keep everything strictly I would say professional in this job set. So I would say the next thing I would say is joining the community and the membership is going to make you stand out from employers. Also, it's going to make your networking very, very strong. Again, these are people you meet. You could ask for their cards. They could drop their card. So let's say, for instance, you meet Mr. Bayer at a conference in Birmingham. We didn't talk, but I just gave you my card. Then you now find out that, oh, I work with KPMG and there's an opening in KPMG. It's easier for you to reach out to me and make reference to that event. Then I can now refer you. So 90% of the jobs, referral is, I would say, is one of the key ways to get it right on time. So I can now refer you that, oh, this guy, I met him somewhere. He's okay. Let's give him a chance. Let's give him a chance. That's just what's going to do. So, but again, in any job application or anything, the difference between the first, second, and third might just be very, very small. Might just be very small. So it's what's distinct or what puts you out. That's what's going to make you I would say get the job. So I'll move to the next thing I'll call making your skills stand out for you, what employers are looking for. So what employers are looking for, firstly, I would say communication is one of the key things. How you communication skill is very, very, I would say, underwritten. So we need to understand our communication skill. When you are communicating with me in my personal time, is different from the way you communicate to me in a professional setting. It's different from the language you use. So for instance, you're sending a recruiter an email. You need to talk techie. You need to talk like someone that knows what he's doing. You need to sound professional. So unlike when you're sending it to me personally, it's a total different game. So communication is one thing we need to do. Then also, I would say look at transferable skills you've gotten from your previous jobs that can be used in the cyber field. So for instance, now you've been a banker in Nigeria or anywhere for about 6-7 years. You're coming to transition into the UK. Very simple. You can say, oh, I'm a cybersecurity professional who have worked in the finance sector for over 7 years. No one's going to ask you, are you counting money there? Are you doing this there? But just because you've worked in the finance sector and you're an IT guy, they expect you to know some leverage, some things you need to do. So in the finance sector, there's a total finance, I would say there's a total IT relating to finance, which if you work in the finance sector, you would know. You would know about privacy, you would know about not disclosing things to people, you know about PCI DSS, you know about data protection, you know about access controls, you know about like for instance, you know about two-man shared responsibility. For instance, you work in a bank, somebody wants to withdraw 1 million. Because the cashier cannot approve it, the manager has to approve it. So that's already like a two-man control. So those are things, transferable
I
things.
review.
Yeah. So those are transferable things that if you've worked in other sector, you can bring it into cyber. So not necessarily, oh, I'm new to cyber. Nobody's new to cyber. Everybody has a phone. Everybody has set password on their phone. So you're not new to cyber. So that's something I would
I would
I would say.
I would like to engage you a little bit on that. So I know the story of a guy who is in Nigeria, but he got a job as a cloud engineer with a company in the US.
Okay.
And he said he kept applying for jobs and he was always putting 1 year experience because he just finished the training like maybe 6 months ago. So he added everything 1 year, but he wasn't getting the jobs. I kept applying. Then he just looked at his CV and just said, okay, wait a minute. I've been using Google Docs
Yeah.
for many years now, at least for 5 years. He's also cloud. The guy just updated his CV, just put 5 years experience in the cloud. Bam. He started getting interviews. He got a job. He got a job after he changed that. So some other people might say, oh, but he's lying. So can you help us to clarify that area? I figured out, but he's lying. So,
Okay.
how they can relate their previous work experience, which might not be cybersecurity, to cybersecurity and make it still count as an experience. That area is very, very important. Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, I would say nobody lies. If you lie, they'll catch you. It's as simple as that. So the thing is, when you say you have 5 years experience and you're being interviewed, you are being gauged based on that 5 years experience. If the interviewer or the people gauging you are satisfied you have that 5 years experience, that's very good. Again, in Nigeria, we are used to all-rounder. So we are used to a lot of all-rounder that we forget the main, I'll say it's a process that built us where we do a lot of things, but we now go by the job title, but we forget the skill was actually learned. So like I said, you've used WhatsApp, you've used Google, you've used let's say WhatsApp, Gmail, Skype, and they ask you, have you used any cloud platform before? You say no, but these are all cloud platforms. So is you now understanding what you've done before? How is it related to tech? What can you now do? So you've been this one is a bit I would say it's a bit little, but you've been a WhatsApp group administrator. There's no difference from what you're going to do as a network administrator. It's no big difference. It's just on a larger scale and a different platform. That's things that you can see. You've done this, you've been an administrator on this group or on this channel. You could say, okay, being an administrator on a communication channel. It's as simple as that. WhatsApp is a communication channel. Gmail is a communication channel. Teams is a communication channel. M365 is a communication channel. But you now see people saying M365 administrator with 7 years experience, 10 years experience. When did M365 come out itself?
Where exactly? When did we start hearing of M365?
Yes, so but because
Yeah.
they've been using previous platforms with that, it's easy for them to say, I've been an administrator for a long time. So again, we cyber. That's why I say cyber has always been around us. You can say, "Oh, I'm not a security person," but you put password on your phone. You put your password. You now put your pattern. You now put fingerprints. You now put eye. But that shows that you are security conscious. That shows you are doing multi-level authentication. So those are things you can integrate and say, "Okay, yes, I've done this before." They could ask someone that, "Oh, have you used MFA before?" But I think mostly it's about not doing the research about the meaning of what they've said and not trying to not relating it to what we've done before. So that's one thing I'll say. But again, we are here to I'll say guide you on your previous experience. Tell us what you've done. We'll see how it relates to cyber. We'll draft it out for you and say, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? So for instance, somebody now in Nigeria will say, oh, I'm a cashier. So in Nigeria, they'll just say cashier, you were giving people money. But when you want to present it to a foreign company, you are not going to say you're a cashier. You're not going to say you're a cashier. You can say you're a customer success associate where you deal with clients and you administered and you help with transactions. So that one is totally different from somebody saying he's a cashier. But was the activity carried out? Are
Mm.
they the same? Yes. So that's the thing. That's why I highlighted communication as the first thing here. So if we can't really
Mm.
communicate, so communication doesn't have to be verbal. If we can't really
Mm.
communicate what we've done in the past, no one might want to take a bet on us for the future. So communicating
Mm.
what we've done in the past and say, this is what I've done. This is how I
Mm.
can tailor it to cybersecurity. So for
Mm.
instance, you're a customer. Let me just use you're a teller. You can say, oh, I validated people's
Mm.
credentials based on what they presented and what was on the system to see if there was a match. If there was no match, the transaction was being declined. If there was a match, the transaction was successful. So that's you putting basic cashier, say, oh yeah, check if this check is valid. That is what you are doing. You are doing an authentication process. If it's valid, you authorize it. So you've been doing the authentication and authorization process,
Mm. Mm.
but you don't know that's what you've been doing. So it's
Mm.
we now understanding this is what you've been doing. So you can say, yeah, I've done this over the last 4 years, over the last 5 years in a
Mm.
financial
Mm.
setting, in an SME
Mm.
setting. So they understand, okay, this is what he has, this is the knowledge he has, and he knows where
Mm.
we are coming from. So no company will go and say, oh, you've been counting money. Who counts money? ATM counts money. So they need to understand the process you
Mm.
took in between that.
Mhm.
That is where you sell
Mhm.
yourself. So
Mhm.
imagine you say customer success manager, authorize, authenticate, and validate customers' credentials based on what's on the database and what was provided. That shows you know cybersecurity. That shows what you did also in the past, and it shows you
Mhm.
understand what you can do. So that's to
Mhm.
the part of where you need to sell yourself from what you've been doing previously and where you need to be.
Mm.
So
Mm.
technically, no one is lying. Technically, it's you presenting yourself in
Mm.
light. So it's just like marketing. No marketer would say lies, but they just tell you what you want to hear.
Mm.
So
Mm.
that's
So,
that about that. Is there any
so
other
let's move on to the
question?
next point. Now, I think I'm cool with that transferable skills. I think you handled it well, right? Yeah. So we can move on to the next point. Yeah.
Okay, so the next point I categorize it language and culture. So language and culture is as I would say as Nigerians, when you try to apply to jobs or you are in an interview process, don't speak for net. Because once you speak for net, the originality goes out of you. It goes out of you. So once you speak the language you understand and the culture you are, you portray your culture. Because every company has this thing called cultural diversity and inclusion, where they are allowed to take people from other cultures, people from other background. So with KPMG, I think there's something called the
Yeah.
Black Talents. So
Sophia.
if you are
And continue. Don't worry. I will mute the
yeah,
person. Just continue. Yeah.
yeah. So if you are going to a company now and the company are looking for two Nigerians and you go there, you are speaking British English, you do not qualify for what they are looking for. So again, it's you being natural and they can see your passport. Everything you provided is being Nigerian. How come you are speaking British English and you've been in the country for 2 years? So it doesn't show originality. So speak your language. Be I would say be easy with the interviewer. Do not I would say do not like being too eager. Just take everything easy. That's what I would say. Also, when they ask you, do you have any questions? Well, ask questions as much as you can. So the next point I would say is understanding visa and work permit learning opportunities in the UK. So in the UK, there are different visas and work permits people can use. So the most popular one is, I think, the Tier 4 visa, where people come as students, learn, then when they finish studying, they get a job, then they move to a Tier 2 visa. So the Tier 2 visa simply means a company saw you and they said, oh, this guy is good, oh yeah, come and work for us. But there is actually a visa category meant for tech. So it's called the Tier 1 Global Talent Tech Visa. So what this visa simply does is you just need to prove to them that you are a good talent, you are a promising talent. So you don't need to have any employer, you don't need to have anyone sponsoring you. All you need to show is that you are a good talent, you can add to the UK economy. And the US also has the same visa category called the UB1, something like that. So it just shows that you bring your skill, you tell them about your skill, and they evaluate your skill and say, oh, this person is going to be valuable to the I would say to the UK or the American economy. So that's the thing about those visa categories. Then again, with the UK and the America, there's always something called clearances. So clearances is just like to show how to what security level you're allowed to work. So in cybersecurity, you need to have clearance based on where you are working and what you are working on. So let's say you want to go into GovTech now, you need to have government clearance. So the clearance is just validating who you are, knowing who you are, so that if anything happens, they know where to help you and how to help you. So these people that have this GovTech clearance are people that you see that when they travel abroad, the government will tell them report to this embassy so that they know you are there because you have experience with high level technologies that if the outsiders get to know about it, they could hold you hostage. So for instance, in the US is not allowed to sell encryption technologies to I think Israel, Pakistan, and those third countries. They are not allowed to sell encryption technologies to them. So if you're an encryption expert or know about all these things and you are going to those countries, they want to know why you are going there, what you are going there to do. So there's a lot of also restriction, and I would say that comes with cybersecurity also. So you need to be aware of that. There's a lot of restriction. There's a lot of I would say money there, and there's a lot of privacy invasion there because a lot of times they revert you and see you are not under any stress or anyone's not I would say holding you ransom to anything. So they check all that also. So
Okay, so I
at
want to
this
ask you more about this security clearance thing because there are some job alerts I've seen, and I'll see security clearance needed, security clearance included. So my understanding of the security clearance is that an employer um, might have to get the security clearance for you. That is if you don't have it. But if you have it, it makes it easier for you to get that job because now they don't have to do the processing fees for your security clearance. But can you just shed more light on it? Or maybe I'm mistaken. Yeah.
So with the security clearance, it's a very, very tricky and very easy thing. So I would
Mm.
say people with security clearance don't look for a job.
Okay. Mm.
So because once you have security clearance, any company, so let's say Mr.
Mm.
Yomi gets a contract with Home Office again, and they say they want to do with cloud migration, but the person needs to be cleared. So if you have your security clearance, it lasts for 10 years. It's like a certificate that this guy is tested and trusted. Your security clearance lasts for 10 years. You can use it in any industry. So that makes it easier for you to get jobs, mostly contracting and stuff like that. But most
Mm.
companies know that it's difficult to get someone that has security clearance to come and do the job. So they will
Mm.
rather get someone without security clearance, you scale through all the interview process, then they'll do the security clearance for you. So
Okay.
there are criteria for the security clearance. So depending on the industry you are working, so
Mm.
there's the BPSS, there's the SC, there's the DV, and everything. So like people like James Bond now, I'm just using him as
Mm.
an example. James Bond now, we have the DV license. So with the license, they're allowed to do a lot of things that no one's going to question them, just because
Mm.
it's in they believe they are doing it in national interest.
Mm. Mm.
Then there's another one called the SC. So the SC simply means you are security cleared. That means if you have the security clearance, you can't work. There are things you can't do and there are things you can do. So, for
Mm.
example, if you have a security clearance, you can't work on the train.
Mm.
You can't open your laptop on the train because all what you are being seen are considered sensitive, confidential. So
Mm.
that if seen by the public might cause a stay or might cause something. So
Mm.
to get your security clearance, you need to get a job first. The
Then the
companies
company,
do
exactly. Then the company
so.
does but you
The
must be so
companies,
valuable that they are ready to do that for you. Yeah.
yes, that it boils down to value. So once you get
Yeah.
the clear, once they get you the job, before you even get the job, they'll ask you that, oh, do you meet certain criteria? They'll actually questions up to, let's say, not exaggerating, maybe 120.
Wow.
So they ask you questions to know if you meet the criteria. They'll ask you that, oh, are you in debt? If you say
Mm.
yes, how much? Have you been divorced? If yes, what's your partner's name? So things they will generally ask you when you are submitting your application: your name, your details, where you've lived from when you were born, your wife's details if you're married, where you guys, your parents' details, generally everything about you, your finance details, your assets, your liability. You know, when Nigerians, when president wants to get into office, that they'll say they should declare. That's just it.
Yeah.
So declare. So you cannot join
Mm.
today and you have 10,000 pounds, and 2 weeks time you have 50,000 pounds. Where did you see it? Can you
Mm.
explain it?
Mm.
So because they
Mm.
know with informations you have, it's easy
You
to
can
sell on the
sell
black
it.
market.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
easy to sell
Yeah.
on the black market. So you might
Mm.
feel, you see, for instance, you see let's say you see a malware today, or a Trojan or something that it says, or yeah, a Trojan, and you know you can't deal with it. And you now go and say, oh, we've discovered this Trojan, we can't deal with it. The guys that have the Trojan now know there's no solution. So they start
Mm.
asking for ransom.
Mm.
So it goes a long way. So imagine you seeing a malware ransomware and you're saying, oh boy, we have to pay. There's no way we can do it. So those things increase the value. So imagine you just saying that and they were asking for 10 million. They can say, oh, these guys don't have it. They don't even have a backup. So it might not
Yeah.
even be you talking about the Trojan. Or imagine you saying our backup failed last week. So that means your recovery point is 2 weeks
Mm.
ago. And you can't do
Mm.
that. So then now
Mm.
say, oh, instead of 10 million, we want to collect, let's collect 20 million. So that
Mm. Mm.
shows how the information you gave might not be relevant to what's happening, but can be connected.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could
Yeah. I
see,
get that.
you
Mm.
could see, let's say, something happen, let's say in the news, or something about to launch. And you could,
Mm.
for instance, let's say the government are about to lift ban on something. Let's say lift ban on Diet Coke, or Coke itself. So because normal Coke is more expensive than Diet Coke. So you now say, oh, government wants to lift ban on sugar so that normal Coke will now be the same thing as Diet Coke. And you see this information, it's easy for you to just post it and people will rush and go and buy normal Coke, knowing by
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow the share price is
Mm-hmm.
going to increase. So that's more like
Mm-hmm.
manipulating the market and you not knowing.
Mm.
So those type of things they'll look at that, okay,
Mm.
are you
Mm.
doing this? They monitor your social media, do not disclose this kind of
Mm.
thing, do not
Mm.
advertise this kind of thing. Because when
Mm.
you do, apart from that, you now become a prime suspect. So
Mm-hmm.
when imagine people kidnapping you for information, that's where you now get tricky, or
Yeah.
somebody giving you
Yeah.
they now say, okay, this guy, we know he works with the government. That means he has access to log in something. They now catch you and say, yeah, log in. Let's see what's there. So that's where all those things
Yeah, I get that now. So we
come in.
can move
Yeah.
on to the next point. It's very clear now. Very clear. Yeah.
So yeah, so for I think, does anyone have any specific question they want me to attend to now? So how does one get security clearance? So yes, the company will get it for you if your company is, if you work with government, or your company is a government contractor, or they have anything to do with the government, you get your security clearance done by you. But it's nothing for you to worry about. It's a plus. It's a plus anyways. It's a very big plus. Is there any other question before I move on?
Yes. Are there? Do you know of any that sorry about that? Do you know of any cyber security apprenticeships or internships where someone can work with not actually volunteering, just a little money, but like gaining some more experience? Because
Yeah.
going from training straight into interviewing and getting the job, I mean, is a bit like it might be a bit stressful, and someone needs a bit of confidence, really.
Okay, just a minute. I'm just trying to see if I can pull up something. Okay, yes. So like I would say again, there's very high shortage in the, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear
sure.
you.
Loud and clear.
Yeah, yeah. There's very high shortage in the sector. So what you will learn during your I would say internship process, or what you will learn during this I'll say this training process, it's way, way, way more valuable than I would say 2, 3 years experience, because you have 3, 4, 5 professionals consolidating their knowledge into just you. So you going for an apprentice, can you hear me? Can you see? So you going for an apprentice,
Yeah,
it's
sure.
you, it's kind of you shooting yourself on the foot. So we Nigerians, I would say, we've come to the UK, most of us, I'll just use the average age of 30 or let me just use 30 as an example. So imagine in Nigeria, you see a 30-year-old boy going to start learning mechanic. What would you say? It doesn't really
he's on serious with his life. What has he been doing
it's
all
on
this while? That would be
yes.
the question. Yeah.
So that's the perspective you need to look at. So again, I'll say there are lots of entry-level roles. And again, cybersecurity is not a field that you get into there and tomorrow they'll say, go and do this. No, it takes 3-6 months, they'll leave you. So again, when you get into a company, there's a training period. The company will retrain you on what they are doing, what infrastructure they are using, what services they are using, what tools they are using, their processes. So in I would say cybersecurity, there's something called documentation. So let's say I build a system or I did something now. I don't expect you to come and do it, because if I do it and I leave today and you do it tomorrow, there's going to be something called inconsistency. So whatever you would do, except you are going in as, I would say, an expert level, whatever you would do in cyber, there's already a documentation or there's already a workflow process for it. So you are not going there to change anything. You are going there to continue on the established work. And it will take you 3-6 months to even understand what they are doing. You are not going there and they are saying, oh, this is going to be this. No, they are going to leave you, because again, you just typing stop on a server could cost millions of pounds. So they are not ready to take that chance yet. So they'll leave you, you'll be in the demo environment or pre-prod environment for as long as they feel they are comfortable to let you go in. So they would still retrain you, make sure you understand their topologies, what they use, their acronyms, and I'll say any process they do. So I wouldn't say you should go for apprentice. It's not going to really help you. So that's why we are here to give you all the experience we've gathered so that you can leverage on it and go for more higher roles there where you start up good. Because from apprentice, how long is it going to take for you to get to the big boss? Again, we have to look at time is not on our side, age is not on our side, our family is there, we need to get work permit sorted. So these are other factors you need to put in. We need to look at, will apprenticeship break the new salary threshold? So these are values you need to look at. Again, I think this same question we would ask you again in 3-4 months time and see what perspective you have by that time.
So I want to also come in. So I understand where she's coming from. And there's also another student here, Babajide, that asked something related to that. So there's just one, and myself and you have discussed this right before today. So there's something about, someone comes through an digital program and feels that, you mean after these 6 months, you mean I'll be able to do this? So there's that imposter syndrome. There's that belief that, yeah, I've learned networking, I've learned SIMs, I've learned pen testing, GRC, but like I went to school for 5 years. For 5 good years, I was in school before I came out, and they could call me an accountant or an engineer. So you mean just these 6 months and I can work in this role? So that is why people feel I'm training. If I cannot do some apprenticeship, then some internship somewhere, then I can begin to build confidence. And you have a very totally different approach to it, which is, in my view, much better. So Babajira is also asking the question, how do we overcome imposter syndrome? Which is just what is another way of asking that question about internship, apprenticeship. So I just want you to shed more light on that. Of course, you've said a few things about the project. Being trained by 2-3 instructors is enough to get all the skills they want. And when you come in as an apprentice internship, and that is where you categorize yourself, you are limiting your opportunities and your chances because you are presenting yourself as a newbie, as somebody who's just fresh. But I just want you to understand where they are coming from. So this imposter syndrome of a thing, how do you think they can overcome it?
Okay, so
Yeah.
we are going to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
The first one is when you wake up in the morning, just say I am the best, I can do it. So that's the first thing. But again, let's look at it from a wider perspective. Do you think other people are better? That's the question. Do you think other people not being in tech now, do you think they do a longer program or they are trained by better instructors? So I think self-belief is the first thing we need to understand now. So, okay, now I would, let me just try and do a little lab now so that everyone can even have a feel that, oh, they can detect something in cybersecurity. So I'm going to send, am I okay to do that?
Yeah, please do that.
Okay, let me
So all
just...
the stuff you sent, I'm also going to resend to them on the groups anyway.
Yes, so this
Right.
one, I just want us to do it live so that they start understanding the view and they start saying, oh, it's not that, they start understanding it's not that difficult. So just one sec. Can everyone open this? That's the link now. Okay. Can everyone like type that on Google? ipdb.com.
Abuse IPD. Okay.
IPD. I'm just trying to get the right website.
Okay.
Yeah, IPD. Abuse IPD. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Let me
Just to
see.
copy and paste on Google, right?
Yes. So you should see.
Okay.
You should see a website. So the person.
Okay, I've seen it. Abuse
Okay.
IPD.
Yes,
Yeah.
I just want like 5 people to just say yes. So
yes.
yeah. So like the person that says similar to virus total, yes, it's similar to virus total. So just to there are lots of I would say open source intelligence that we can do on our free time. So I'll share some where you can just start playing randomly, then you start understanding, oh, so this cybersecurity is not it's not as difficult as it is, or it's not as hard as we see it in movies. So I would I'm trying to look for, let me see if I can get this IP posted. Can everyone search this IP on the abuse IPD?
Okay. Have you dropped it?
Yeah, I've dropped it.
The IP?
Yes.
Okay.
Just a sec. Yeah, I've dropped it in the chat. Oh, sorry. It was a direct message. Oh, okay.
Okay, I've seen it now. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Reported IP.
Yes. So basically, 90%, or no, let me say 90%. 90% of your first triaging activity you do in cybersecurity is to know where the IP is, or if it's being reported malicious or something like that. So this is one of the tools you can use to say, oh, this IP is good, this IP is bad. So I've forgotten the sister that was trying to say she wants to go for a... Yes. So
Okay,
it was that difficult, bad IP. So it's that easy to know what is bad and what is good in cybersecurity. Again, a Chinese IP. Now, so I like as people are coming up with different, I would say, summary. It shows what we need in cybersecurity is people thinking outside the box. Someone said a bad IP, someone said a Chinese IP, someone, another person can say IP was reported 37 times. So this is what we do reports in cybersecurity. So for instance, now we've seen that IP. We now want to go and see what's inside the IP, but we don't want to compromise our system. We use something called browse link. I'm just going to share it in the chat now.
Okay, I've seen it.
So for browse link, let's click on browse link. So it will ask us that, oh, what do we want to make our system as or something like that. Let's see end section. Can we all see browse link? Have you seen online cross browsing testing?
It's asking for allow. Okay. Needs to review the security of your connection before proceeding. Verify that you are human. Okay. Verifying that I'm human. Okay, fast panel.
Okay.
So what I have here now is fast panel. Yeah.
So can we see a box that says test now? It comes up with someone in the chat is already there.
Okay.
That shows online cross-browsing testing.
Yeah, he's asking me for upgrade.
Okay. Let me just share my screen so that I think
better. Yeah. You can share.
Okay, yes. So this is where. So is there any website you want us to look at? Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, sure. I can see it.
So let's look at FIFA.com.
Okay.
So what this is just a sandbox environment that mimics your system. So you can decide to use whichever system, whichever anything is here. So let's just use FIFA. So what it does here is it shows us what's on FIFA's website without compromising our system. So if we wanted to check that IP that was bad, we can put it here. And it will show us what's bad on the IP without, I'll say without compromise.
Downloaded on our system, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So that shows different tools that we use. So it's not complex. It's something easy. It's not as cybersecurity is not as complex as people. Yeah, it's just like Tor. Somewhat doc. Is it doc browser? Yes. So somewhat it makes you anonymous. Someone's not going to know that, oh, this person has done this person has done this. So that's just I would say a typical day of a SOC analyst. 90% of what they do is check if the IP is malicious, is it clean, check where it's coming from, is it phishing. So that site, that browsing is used for mainly phishing. Check is it phishing attempt. So these are things that tools that are not difficult, and I'm sure everyone now, after now, they can be confident using those tools. So imagine now being asked by an interviewer, what tools have you used in cybersecurity? You can say, oh yes, you've used lots of open source intelligent tools. You can say abused IPDC, IPB, you can say browse link, you can say virus total. So there are lots of them like that, and those are what we call open source intelligence, where all the intelligence from different countries I would say put in I would say data together. So it's not complex. You're not going to do any code, you're not going to do anything. So I would say go from semi-mid level when applying for jobs, look for jobs, and just go for it. So the job market again is still, if you look for entry level, you might not get a lot just because of the way the criteria for entry level is. It's not designed for us. It's not designed for foreigners, because you want to get an entry level, you are asked to go to an assessment center where you are going to do mathematics and English. From there, you do a stage 2, you stage 3. So before you even get to the cyber that your strength is, and you don't know verbal reasoning, you failed out. So going to where your key strength and your I would say your knowledge will be tested is you going from the mid-level up, from the 3, 4, 5 years, I'll say from 3 to 5. That's where you'll be tested on I would say core cybersecurity. And core cybersecurity is, I would say, to get into it, it's not as difficult as it looks. It's still the same standard question, standard scenario question. So for instance, if I was an interviewer today, I could just ask, how would you know an IP is being malicious? I feel everyone on the platform now can tell me, how do you know an IP is being malicious? You walk them through the process, we get the IP, we check it through open source intelligence, IP abuse. Let's say it's 50%. I want to verify what content is on that IP. We can then put it on browse link, which is like a virtual sandbox. So to put it to see what is being done. So most time it might be malicious, most time it might not be malicious. So it might not be malicious if it's being hosted or being routed by a VPN. It might not come out as being, it might be flagged as being malicious, but not being malicious. So those are things that you can say, yes, I've detected numerous. So when you hear people saying the block network for malicious places, this is simply what they did. They checked the IP, it was being abused, it's not being used for legitimate purpose, you block it. So you can now write in your report, I prevented an attack. But what did you do? You just blocked an IP.
So at this point, let me just, because it's getting very interesting, right? So you said something that a lot of students here will find they will find this thing very strange, right? And I also need to come from the mindset angle. So to start with, let's get ourselves used to Mr. Adebayo, because for the Europe and the UK cohort, he will be with us. As you can see from the things he's saying, he has experience in the UK job market. He has worked with a lot of companies, and we are still going to get to that, right? So he's here for us throughout this journey, and he will be here till many of us get to application stage, you get the job, till you start doing the job. So Mr. Adebayo loves to do this and is here. So I just want us to talk about this. So you see, it's in the mind, right? And I want to talk to all our students listening to me, right? So if you take a chance, you apply for a job, for instance, a job of 3, 4, 5 years experience, and they don't call you, you didn't lose anything. You just applied, right? Then you apply for another one, is 3, 4, 5 years, and you had already designed your CV, customized it very well, and they call you for an interview, and you attended the interview and you didn't get the job. You still didn't lose anything, because one job is enough to cover for all the failed interviews and jobs that they didn't call you. And the interesting thing is that with each application, you keep getting better. That is how it works, because as you keep applying, you keep seeing where you are lacking, you keep updating your CV, so then with each interview, you just keep getting better. So if you like, there's this story that you lose all 100% of the shots you did not take. 100% of the shots you did not take, that is guaranteed that you will lose 100% of the shots that you did not take. And if you take 100 shots, maybe you get 10, right? So we should not just say, oh, these guys are talking 3, 4 years experience. Like, he has made us realize that in the UK job market, entry-level roles are very competitive, and it's quite, because a lot of people are applying for entry-level roles because they don't have that belief that they can even get the mid-level roles, the 3 to 4 years. And some of our career mentors I've spoken with in the UK, right? They got employed because of their experience, which was actually Nigerian experience. Like Nigeria, this was not, they didn't have experience in the UK. They were employed because they said they had experience in Nigeria. So the recruiters are not there in Nigeria to gauge whether they actually had the experience or not. One of them didn't even have cybersecurity experience in Nigeria at all. So we just need to break this mental barrier and not just say, oh, internship, apprenticeship. If you do what everybody is doing, is a recipe for failure. But if you dare to do what many people will not do, then you are playing in a zone. So having said that, having spoken about the mindset angle, now I want to now put it across to Mr. Debayo that, so someone who has started a 6 months training and is on the pathway, who knows that, I'm not applying for internship, apprenticeship, entry level. I've started this journey a month ago or maybe 2 months ago, and I'm going in for the mid-level roles. If I get an entry level role, that's fine, but I'm going in for the mid-level roles. What should be that person's strategy from now? This is April. What should be the strategy? And we spoke about specialization. So I also want you to include things around specialization. So what should be the strategy? In line with our brochure. So our brochure covers, they do GRC, they do PEN, they do SOC. They have knowledge of all these areas. But for someone who knows that, I'm not going to spend 5 years to break into cybersecurity. I don't have the luxury of that time. What should be the strategy for them from this point? Yeah, over to you.
Okay, yes. To answer this question, I would like to go on LinkedIn so we just see some of my inbox. And yeah, so I'll just share my screen again.
Then those who are asking for links, and don't worry, you will share
I've answered
with me,
some.
then I will share on all the groups. Yeah.
Okay, so let me see. Yeah. So this is like my LinkedIn where it says job for me. So I just want to try and see if I can find something. Yeah. Just a sec. So yeah. So I think we can numbers are clear, yeah. Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So yeah, now in cybersecurity, we can see just on LinkedIn there are 465 openings. So again, you remember me saying, oh, under development in cybersecurity, there's DevOps. Now that's another aspect again. So now under DevOps, there's 201. Under Azure Security, this is now specializing in Azure Security, there's 46. Under Azure General Name, there's 319. So specialization simply means you know what area and you know what area your strength is going to be in. So let's say in 3 months from now, you've taken some classes, you've done some topics, you now look at, oh, this is where I find interest, or based on my previous experience, this is what I like, or this thing is more interesting to me. So that's where you now know what area you want to specialize in, because the specialization area is very, 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 very vast. So let's just let me just try and look at top jobs being picked for me, and let's just look at the requirement and see if anybody says you must have 5 years experience, 10 years experience, or it's just something we've been fed in right from small that you must have 20 years experience. So let's just let me just go and see. Oh, so let's pick anyone. Okay, the first one, information security manager. Let's see what it says. It brings everything. Again, let's start understanding what the UK is saying. It said have an expert understanding. So you can work somewhere and not have understanding of what you're doing. So expert understanding is being prioritized over, I'll say, the use of experience here. So if we look at this job description here, there was nowhere or no place it stated 2 years work experience, 3 years work experience. Let's look at the job description. Have an expert understanding of threats faced by UK financial system, complaints, and blah, blah, blah. You are approachable InfoSec authority with experience collaborating with external security teams. You are keen on helping shape leaders' policies. You understand the key compliance legislation and regulations. So we can see here it's all about you knowing your game rather than you having 10 years experience. So let's just move to the next job description here. It says cybersecurity technical project manager. Let's see if there is anything called 2-3 years work experience here. Again, on who you are, there is nowhere 2, 3, 4 years experience is being written. Let's take another one at random. This one. Information security assistant manager. Year requirement, minimum 2 to 3 years in cybersecurity and business continuity environment, preferably in the financial sector. So you might not or you may not see huge number of years of experience. So that's just one experience, 2 to 3 years that we've seen. Let's just pick another one at random. Yeah, again, 3 years of commercial or industrial work experience. So there's a difference between having your job experience and having, I would say, commercial experience. Just a minute, please. So that's something we need to take into place. And I would say that was what stood out from the guy, Mr. Yomi said that applied in America. You saying you have 1 year experience is just a kick that, oh, this guy has not worked anywhere else before. He doesn't know how policy works. He doesn't know how organization works. It's not been in the work environment culture before. But you've worked somewhere else. I have this experience. That's what you have. It's not like you've not worked there. You've worked there. So let's look at this one again. Looking at this what's it called, looking at this job description, this is the odd one out. We can see 6 years experience in information security and response. We can see all the requirements here. So let me just look for any other random one. Let's look at this one. This one is a bit huge. Yeah, so let's see if there's any years of experience here. Minimum 5 years of experience within the information security, experience working in the financial industry. We can see a lot of I would say tech jobs are now being related to the financial industry. So it just shows that regardless of the industry, and the finance is one of the top, I would say, the top industries to get job. Might not be a bank. So you being a cashier, you now saying, oh, you've not worked in the financial industry. You've worked in the financial industry for a long time. So those are experiences we can I would say leverage on. So let me stop sharing my screen. So I don't know if I've answered the question or you want me to
I'm
go.
still going to probe. I'm going to probe that question very well, right? You have to an
Okay.
extent. So I get that first phase, which is that companies are interested in what you can do, not all about the number of years, because I've said it before that at times it's not the number of years of experience you have, because it could be bad experience, right? So if someone who is working in a Big Four has better experience than someone who has spent maybe 15 years in one local government job. Like, it's just the way it is. That's the reality. So that area is clear. But the other area I also want to look at is, and we spoke about it during our session, was the area of trying to specialize after a while. So can you just shed more light on that area? Then I'll go to the third question. The area of specializing. Because if you are going to bid for jobs that are the mid-level roles, it might be a good idea to have a core. There's an area that, okay, you have developed sufficient competency in, in as much as your knowledge is broad, but you also concentrate in a particular area. And at what point do people, students begin to concentrate? Yeah. So let's talk more about that.
Okay, I've sent a link to the group now, but I'd also
Okay.
share my screen. So everyone can just have a
I'll
look.
copy this and share with them. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone can have a look and in their convenient time and also look. So what the link is, can everyone see my screen now?
Yeah, we can see it. Yeah.
So what this does is it breaks cybersecurity down into different domains and different roles. So now let's go into the first one, application. You can decide to be application security specialist, DevSecOps, security code auditor, security software developer, architecture. You can go into any of these roles in architecture. So everything goes, the list goes on to the end. So for instance, people that would find GRC interesting now would see where's audit, they'll see security auditor. So again, but as a security auditor in GRC, you need to know how controls work, how you verify controls if they have been working, and how you can I'll say make recommendations of controls, how to keep risk book and stuff like that. So you also need to have basic understanding of everything in cybersecurity. Then you now need to specialize on which aspects you want to go into. So let's say someone you've been in the police force, you can decide to say, okay, I want to go into cybercrime investigation. It's also a part of cybersecurity. Or you want to go into cybercrime analysis. It's also a cybercrime in cybersecurity. That's what basically EFCC do, cybercrime investigation. That's to show you how big it is. There's I would say a parastatal in Nigeria just meant for cybercrime. So it shows you how wide it is and how big it is. Then again, sales is another one I would advise people to go into, especially if you are good at pitching, if you are good at the use of say tools, and you can sell yourself and sell your product. Cybersecurity sales is also a very big one. There are lots of companies that have developed product and can develop product for particular clients. So with the sales, you work with a business analyst to understand what products their company need or what challenges they are being faced and how you can tune your product to satisfy them. So in that aspect, the sales guy is going to work with, let's say, the devs guy to say, oh, these clients, this is what they need and this what they don't need. Then also the sales guy is going to be the one reaching out to company and say, okay, we are going to give you certain subscriptions for I know everyone has seen sign up for free, after 2 weeks you pay for it. So that's just the sales guys working, because they are trying to entrap you to make you see that, oh, I actually need this product, so that you can pay for it afterwards. So this list here just shows you different, it's not limited to this list. It shows you how many cybersecurity fields, how many cybersecurity branches you can go into. Again, I could even see further breakdown lots of them. So let's go into like the operations. Inside the operations here, we can see incident management is missing from here. We can see a lot of incident management. We can see threat intelligence is here, but yeah, I can't find incident management, so which is also another big part of cybersecurity. So under incident management, we have business continuity professionals, we have disaster recovery professionals, we also have all those guys being listed. So I feel having
I
all
think
this,
the incidents might be maybe under investigation. They might have just put it inside the incidents and
let me
intrusion
try and see.
analyst. Incidents
Yeah,
might be
no, that's
under
different. So incidents and intrusion analysis is different from
okay.
incidents management. So these ones are like something is about to happen,
Yeah.
they are doing, but the incidents manager I'm talking about is the disaster has happened. How does the complaint continue? What's the BCP? What's the recovery point objective?
Oh.
What's the disaster continuity? What plans do they have after an incident has happened? This is also part of cybersecurity. So these ones I feel are the I'll say before measures. So incident management is like, it has happened, what do we do? Then what's the after measure? Again, what we need to what we learned from the incident that's happened. So all these are roles I say we can get in cybersecurity, and it's currently now I would say I'm a cybersecurity awareness trainer. So it shows you how wild, or cybersecurity educator. It's just like most guys you see on let's say YouTube or LinkedIn, their job is cybersecurity educator. And lots of companies employ cybersecurity awareness trainer because they need to train I don't know if anyone who has worked in a company before that they'll say, oh, you have IT training on how to do this, how to do this, how to do this, how to use this product. So those are jobs for the cybersecurity trainers there. Or you want to go to NIT or different companies, or you want to go and learn online. So these are put together by cybersecurity awareness trainers, because if I'm to say train cybersecurity professional, it's going to be different from the way I'm going to train data professionals. So a data trainer would need to train a data professional just because they understand what's being needed and what's being and the language being spoken. So for everyone here, I feel having an open mind to all the roles is I'll say is of utmost important as first, because we need to understand everything, at least the basics of everything. You need to understand the basics of everything, because everything here are I'll say there's a thin line between them. They are all connected. They are all connected. So you cannot say, oh, you're a cybersecurity analyst, something happened and you raised it out. Do you know the SLA? So the SLA is going to be with the compliance team, but you need to have an idea of, oh, the SLA with this client is okay. It's 80%, not 90%. So there's allowed to be downtime. So you need to, so imagine the compliance guy saying they are within their SLA, and you are saying you raise it out also. It doesn't make sense because they are within their SLA. So SLA is simply service level agreement, which you have with external vendors on products they provide or services they provide that will say, okay, we can, let me use the word, we can mess up for 10 minutes every day. So if the mess up is no more than 10 minutes, you cannot raise it. So you need to start understanding how all these interjoin together. And for instance, now as a cyber, I would say as a malware analyst, you find something and you are looking at it that, oh, it's malicious, it's this. It's not your job to further investigate. It's for the threat intelligence and the threat hunters to further investigate, because they are more specialized and well trained in further investigation and will have more tools than you would have. So it's very, very difficult for one person or group of people as a cybersecurity professional to say, I have all, it's impossible. And in cybersecurity, there's something we call is it no, it's not dual responsibility. It's not job rotation, it's the other one. So what he simply means is, I can't remember Alfred, it simply means is, what I can do, you can't do it. What you can do, this person can't do it. So that I cannot commit a crime. So imagine I know everything, yeah, I can commit a crime and cover it up. But if there's somebody else going to verify or check it, then everyone's going to be in check. So what the privacy analyst does, the SOC analyst might be the one to review it. So there's going to be job responsibility and I think it's split responsibility. Say again?
I said that's the principle of least privilege.
No, that's not least privilege. So least privilege is you giving the least amount of administrative right to a person to carry out his activity.
Okay,
so
but this is for the job role. Okay.
Yeah, this is for the job role, where what I can do is not what you can do. So with least privilege, it means as a SOC analyst, I don't need to have access to the compliance document because I don't need it for my job role. So that's what the least privilege means. Also, it's also part of security measures. It's also a security measure, least privilege. Thank you for bringing that up also. So yeah, so again, I think by 2 months time, we'll be able to start seeing where our interest lies, where we find interesting, and also as a take home to everyone, just look at all these things. You can check for jobs on there, see which one catches you, bring anything back and say, oh, I see this job, what they're asking for, I can do it. So for instance, now, someone being a compliance officer in an insurance company, you can easily go in as a cybersecurity compliance officer. It's totally almost the same. But the only thing there is, you are in an insurance company, now you're in a cyber company. You just need to face different regulation. But your skill set, everything's still going to be the same. So that's where we need to start saying, okay, we don't need to totally deviate from what we've been doing before, what we've learned before. We need to see how we can incorporate it to what we are learning now and what the market is in demand for. I hope I made a bit, it's a bit clearer now.
We're good on that. So this particular area, I know we have, but let me just drop the last question in this area. Is on the area of certifications. So for someone targeting mid-level roles in the next 5 months or 6 months time, what are the certifications you would tell them to look at and to keep in the bag? Certifications that will at least show mid-level competencies. Yeah.
Okay, so with certifications, two ways about certifications. I told Mr. Yomi before. So the first thing I'll ask everyone is there are 2 drivers. Two of them drive downfall. One has a driver's license, but he cannot drive. One does not have a driver's license, but he can drive. And they pasted it in front of their downfall that I can drive, but I don't have driver's license. I can't drive, but I have driver's license. Who are we going to go for? So it's an open question to the chat. I just want to see
I can drive, no driving license.
Yes, that's the point. So it's in as much as we want to go for certifications, we need to also take our foundation serious, because you can have 10 certifications and the first question you're being asked in the interview, and they will just say, okay, they know this guy. It's not, he doesn't really know what he's doing. It's that simple. So, but with certifications, I would say there are some interesting ones I would recommend. Again, it's based on the job role and the path you've paved for yourself. But there are still some foundation ones that I feel everyone should get. So one of them is the CC by ISC Square, which is totally free by now. I think it's still free. It's free. So I think they cover 5 domains in that. So I think everyone can register and write the CC. It's called Certified in Cybersecurity. Then once you write the CC, endeavor to join the ISC Square body as an associate. So that's your first step. Within their certification, you're now a member of them. So what they do is, if there's anything, they send you an email. So this is the opportunity we have. These are things we have. Then again, it changes your it takes you to a verification level. So what certification does is it takes you to a verification level that this guy, this body has verified him to be able to see all these domains, to be able to have understanding of this. And that's what's written on the certification, that we can satisfy Mr. Alex has completed and successfully done blah, 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 blah. So that's the thing with CC. So I would advise CC. Then if everyone, I will also advise if you should do AZ 900 or AZ 700. So for people with going into compliance, I think it's AZ 700. So it's our security, compliance, and identity. That's Microsoft. Then AZ 900 is Azure Fundamental. So it gives you a wide view of what the cloud structure is. It tells you what the cloud is. So again, with cloud, there are different vendors, and that's where it gets tricky. Do you do AWS? Do you do Azure? Do you do Google Cloud? Do you do so it all depends on you knowing the industry you are targeting. So for instance, you are targeting football clubs. So most football clubs, I think they use Oracle and AWS. You would not see Azure on football clubs. So most, I'd say most mid-size or new companies uses AWS just because of the service AWS offer. But most, I'll say the top 1,000 companies in the world use Azure based on tested and trusted, based on the already known policy, the already known infrastructures they are using. Everyone's using a Windows laptop now. So it's easy integration of, I would say, products rather than
the same Microsoft.
It's the same Microsoft.
Having to move to an Amazon Web Services when your laptop, your server, everything has always been Microsoft.
So if you use Microsoft, for instance, now, and all your services are Microsoft, whether your Office, your Office 365, your what's it called? Every product you use is Microsoft. Your service level agreement still boils down to 99.99. But imagine you're now taking another cloud vendor, let's say AWS. You now have to deal with their own service level agreement. Then imagine 2 of them now feel at the same time. You're now having longer, I would say, longer breakout points, because this one is here, this one is here. Then also you need to look at integration. That is, how is this integrated into this? So for instance, if you use Amazon. So Amazon has something called function as a service. I don't know if Azure has it. So if you are using a function in Amazon and you want to integrate it into Azure, do they have that function? It's another thing you need to start looking at that. Oh, these people that we are using, they don't have this thing. Another thing is called vendor locking. So you've built all your data, everything on Azure, yeah. So for you to ingest data into Azure, it's free. For you to take data out of Azure is expensive. So let's say now you want to move your data into AWS. The cost of you moving your data into AWS is going to cost you way more than any amount or thing you want to go and save it with AWS or GCP. So those are the things I would say, okay, yeah, you look at the industry you're going into. If you are going into new fintech companies, go into AWS. If you are going into companies that are going into innovations, let's say AI and everything, Microsoft is leading the platform on that. So you now start understanding where you are going into. If you are going into government, you want to go into endpoint security and stuff, you go into Azure. But if you are going into more development, DevOps stuff, you go into AWS. So again, Microsoft own, I'll say, are the king in authentication and authorization, their own Active Directory. So it shows you how they've, I'll say, dominated the market in that space. So if you want to do that, you can't say, oh, I'm Active Directory expert and you're on AWS. It doesn't make sense because you now have to start feeding data and stuff like that into one another. So which it just makes things complex. But if you're on one platform, you know a lot of things on one platform. It's just easy. So just know the industry you're targeting, know the kind of sector you want to do, know the kind of specialization you want to do. So if you are Azure, you want to go into security, there's a security part in Azure that says do AZ 900, do AZ 500. From AZ 500, you can do the SC series, that's the SC 100, which is the cybersecurity architect. That's on Microsoft. Then you can say, oh, no, you want to do AWS, you have to do their AWS cloud specialist. You have to do this. But again, you can say, oh, no, I don't want to be specialized on one vendor. You can now go and do the CompTIA Cloud Plus, which is vendor neutral, which teaches you what both vendors can offer, but you wouldn't be saying, oh, I'm Oga in this vendor, but you have clear understanding of what both vendors can do. You can run integrations, I say integrations on both platforms. But again, everything gets some because every cloud project is a new project. No one can say definitely teach you a new project because everything that you think you know today, tomorrow is already a service on the cloud. You can say, oh, you want to like previously now we will say we want to open website, there were website boys. But now you can just go on Shopify and just say website for this, drag and drop, you have your website. So every new so with cloud, it has to show your innovation and how you think outside the box. So if you want to go into cloud, depending on the vendor, you just need to understand the vendor. If you've not known the vendor you want to go into, just look at the sectors you want to go into. Will determine the vendor you want to go into. Then if you want to go into GRC, there is I think there's CISA, there's C-Risk. You need to understand those certifications too. So those certifications to have their own bodies, have their own criteria, so you need to follow. If you now want to go into core cybersecurity is now divided. Core cybersecurity is now divided into 8 domains by the ISC squared, divided into 8 domains. We have the application, we have the security operations. Let me just try and bring it up. Can't. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so the 8 domains are security and risk management, asset security, security architect and engineering, communication and network security, identity and access management, security assessment and testing, security operation, software development and security. So if you are going on to core securities, these are the 8 domains. But out of these 8 domains, you need to pick one domain and say, oh, this is the domain I want to specialize in. So you can decide to say, so if you are going to identity and access management, definitely you have to be on Azure. If you are saying you want to do software development, I'll say, okay, go into AWS. So it's you understanding, you clearing the next phase of understanding where your interest lies before you go into certification. Then I think the basic certifications are what is needed. So let me try and see like the top. I think I opened it today. The main, I'll say the top certifications needed. Most times companies will pay for it. So I don't know if you've heard of something called SANS.
Yeah.
So you can't, SANS it's basically your job, your company sending you for training, and SANS is not cheap. So we can see SANS at 8,000, 8,000, 8,000 for just a week. So it's you now saying, oh, my company, no, this is the certification I need. This is the thing I need. So let's just look what's even in the SANS. Let's see curriculum and see how, if there's any deviation from what we are doing. I'm just trying to look for the SANS cybersecurity course list. Again, these are focus areas in cybersecurity. Let me just try and look for where, yeah, let's see this cybersecurity one. Let's see the price. So we can see the price is 7,430. Now let's just go into the syllabus and see. Can we see the syllabus?
Yeah.
Cybersecurity terminologies, the basics of computer networking, security process, incident response, password, introduction to cryptography. So it's no different from, so when you say, oh, what would I be able to get mid-level rules? You would definitely get. So assuming if companies can pay, let me see more details. Let me see. Let me see. You can all see like the outcomes here. It's way similar to what you are going to be getting. But now let's say if companies can pay £7,000, $8,000 for this just because they feel, oh, it's good. So you shouldn't say because you paid X amount of price, you are getting anything less. You're actually getting what they are paying that huge amount for. And this just to show
because
you.
it's the same thing. Because it's the same
It's
thing
the
at the
same
end of
thing.
the day.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
just to show you that
cryptography is cryptography. They can't invent
anywhere,
another one. Yeah.
anywhere. So it's just to show you that you are getting what you. So if you went to this place and you paid 8,000, you will not come out and say you are looking for entry level. So that's something that we need to know that, okay, the mindset is when you go into companies paying 8,000 for this, you should know that, oh, I'm actually in a good position. So that's so these certifications, do not do it, your company is going to pay for it. So the basic one you can do, you can do the CC. If you have time, you can do the Security Plus. That's by I think by CompTIA. You can do I think this one, everyone needs to do this one, ITIL. That's the Information Technology Infrastructure Library. ITIL is also a very good standard certification to have. ITIL.
Let me check the fees for ITIL. I didn't know that ITIL is still relevant. Back then when I was in uni, IT was strong then. I didn't know it's still alive.
It's still alive. It's still alive. So then it was version 3. Now they've come up with version 4. Then ITIL now has now been broken down. So ITIL this one, ITIL that one.
Okay.
So again,
I'm trying to check the costs.
Yes. So again,
version 4.
Version 4. Okay. Again, you don't need to do everything. Saying you have strong, like if you see from the job I shared, it didn't say come with this certification, come with that certification. So strong understanding of this, strong understanding of this. So if you have strong understanding of IT process, that's fine. It's still the case of the guy knows how to drive, no license. The guy has license, doesn't know how to drive. So it's you understanding what the certification is, what it does, and you understanding all this certification is just syllabus. That's what it means. So if you do CC and you want to go and do, let's say, CISSP, lots of the syllables are going to cross each other. If you do CISSP, you want to go and do GIAC, lots of the certification are going to cross each other. So that's something you should always know, that the cybersecurity is interwoven and is also separate. It's very, very interwoven and also very, very separate.
So CC, CompTIA Plus, ITIL, if they can, CC is good, right?
Yeah,
For
CC.
the GRCP, yeah, I'm listening.
CC, why I said CC? CC is currently, let me try and bring up CC is currently free. Everyone can register and write the exam now.
Yeah, many of them have actually started to, some have taken, some will take,
Yeah, so CC is still very free. So once you have CC, make sure you join the ISC Square. That's it. Then also OWASP, the open web. Let me just try and bring out the yeah, this is for OWASP. You can also join them as a member. So it just gives you a lot of leverage.
Is it a paid program?
Yes, it's paid, but let me check the price. So depending on your country of residence, I would advise you put Nigeria. Let me see how much Nigeria is. Again, it's not compulsory. It's just
something to consider.
Yes, to consider, because again, you can see, so Nigeria, you can do for the period of this I'll say this transition period, you can do the 1 year. It's called it's $20. So what you get
membership.
1 year membership is $20. So what you get in the membership, you get so the basic thing why I like the membership is you get your own office online M365 suite. So you can do a lot of things there. So it's just, imagine you sending someone message with your professional body. Just shows, oh, this one makes more sense than me sending for Adebayo at KK213 at yahoo.com. Makes no sense. So that's just the thing about that. Then for the ISCCC, and I think we'll get that, Mr. Yomi, get that across.
This membership, does it come with any certification for OWASP?
No, it doesn't come with, OWASP doesn't give certification. So OWASP is,
but I saw a lot of programs, courses here, but
it's OWASP is more of charity. So they are the one that give the top 10 vulnerability every year, that this is what people should look out for. So you saying you are part of them is like you're also a contributor to that event. So there's OWASP in Nigeria, there's ISA in Nigeria chapter. So it's just you saying, you putting yourself in a position where you get new information, industry relevant. There are lots of trainings that are for free. Networking,
chapters worldwide.
Yeah,
I can see that.
The key there is we getting I would say we getting connections outside our community. So what I'm going to tell you today, if you speak to a white guy, he might give you another different perspective, that when you merge, you come up with your own strategy and you work. You can meet another guy from another community. So it's just, again, for the community, you understand what's going on. For reference purpose, you can ask them to refer you, that you've been a member. Does anyone have this job? Then again, it's also a point for communication. So Mr. Yomi is a member, I'm a member. I can reach out to you, Mr. Yomi, that we are both in this chapter. Is there any opening in your company? Can you pitch to your friend about me? Or this is what I've done. What do you think I can do to get jobs in your company? So it bridged the gap of having to explain, my name is Chinedu, this and this. It bridges that gap, that when you have that mutual community-ness, it bridges the gap of
it's an equalizer.
Yes, it's an equalizer. Yeah.
And democratizes access. So this is very interesting. So to summarize this point is, people should have a feel of everything
Yes.
in cybersecurity. Then because I took one point from what you said is get the foundational certification, right? Then by the time you want to now specialize, you can go for the big ones once you're ready to specialize. But at least while you are in, do your CC, try to get your CompTIA. If you can do an ITO, register for OWASP, and then if you want to specialize, you can start going for the specialization in that area. Yeah, we've actually said a lot today, right? A whole lot. So, Mr. Debayo, for the next session, which what will the focus like, and what assignment do you have for the students so that they can? Of course, I will share all the resources. I've compiled them somewhere, so I will drop it on the group. But do you have assignment for them for the next 2 weeks? They started their program. Some started a month ago. The Europe 2, which includes UK, started last week. So we merged them together. So in the next 2 weeks, we want to have another session. So what should be the assignment for them? Something to work on.
Okay. I think Tokwe wants to say something. Let me hear.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, over to you, Tokwe.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Adebayo.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you so much for your knowledge sharing. It's been fantastic. I'm a student of Agita. I'm currently doing a course with Agita, and it's been fantastic. I've registered for the CC exam. So I have a background in accounting. I'm a chartered accountant, but transitioning into cybersecurity. I'm actually preparing for my CISA exam, but find out that Agita will really assist me. That is why I am enrolled for Agita course. And I've seen a lot of connectivity between especially GRC, networking, and all the likes in CISA question. Do you understand? So I would first like to ask, is there any direct correlation between CISA and GRC? Do you understand? Maybe I should be asking one-on-one because I have like 4 questions that I will ask.
Yeah. If there's time, Mr. Yemi, I'm willing to take it. If not, you can link me up and
the thing is that what I would just say, 4 questions is a lot. Just ask 2 so that we can go and prepare for tomorrow.
Okay, I think I will appreciate it if I can link up with Mr. Adebayo. I don't know if he can.
Okay,
I don't know
so
if it's
the
allowed.
thing is that Mr. Tokwe, so first of all, like I said, this particular class is for the diaspora class. Like I said.
Okay.
Right. But like we are just like, if for some people in the Nigerian class, okay, because some of you are actually planning to relocate, and everything in this life is time bound. So part of bringing Mr. Adebayo on board is for us to have access to him for this period of time, right? He's a busy person. He works with an agency that I cannot even disclose. So he can't be picking. There are many students in the class. So which is why we had a 2-hour session. It's enough to ask any question you want to ask, right? Is enough. Like summarize, we've answered many of the questions tonight. So is enough, because we also don't want a situation whereby, sorry, Mr. Top, we don't want a situation whereby we just feel that, okay, maybe the next class, let's just focus on the diaspora people, right? Let's just focus on the people that we brought in for, right? So just ask your 2 questions and let's get moving. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so I hacked the first one, that's GRC, if directly linked with CISA. Then number 2, second one is I read somewhere where they said on LinkedIn it's not okay to be saying open to work. I want to know how true it is, open to work. Then again, please, if you shed more light on this intern and entry level, it's like you said we should dissociate from using intern or entry level. Now, I've been an interview, for example, and they've asked me, and I said, okay, I'm not an intern, or I did not state intern. They now say, where have I worked? To specifically state the organization I've worked. What will I do in that sense? And I do not use intern. Do you understand? Then lastly, let's say an organization employ me. I'm always thinking of this. Will I be the only staff there, or I just want to join a group of staff? Why I ask is this, because I'm just coming in. Do you understand? So I believe that if I'm working with some people that have been working in the organization, yes, I can leverage, do a job on training on job. Do you understand? Training on the job. But if I'll be the only person, you understand what I mean? It is going to be challenging. Do you understand? So I just want to know this. Thank you so much.
Okay, so Mr. Deba, before you proceed, so I can moderate it. So first of all, right, to everyone listening today, and anyone that will still listen to today, I need to state some things very clearly. You see, Mr. Deba said something when the session wants to start, and he spoke about continuous learning. Right. He has been in cybersecurity since 2008. I know in UK, he has been around for like 9 years in the UK. He has worked with many companies, but he's still learning. So we need to be very clear that this thing about transitioning and everything does not absolve us of the responsibility of continuously learning. Some of the questions that were asked personally, I think I have questions that a little bit of research here and there could sort it out. Some, we've already spoken about it in the session today. We spent a lot of time talking about internship, apprenticeship, and all those things, which maybe for people who can just listen to it over and over again, they will get the answer. So, of course, I'll leave it to Mr. Adebayo to answer the questions the best way he can, but I just need to emphasize this, that there is still that part where we have to do the job, because the vision of Agital is very simple. When we train students who are highly skilled, they will always get opportunities. There's no mystery to this thing. If you are trained and you are highly competent, the opportunities will come. That is justified. If you are good at what you do, the opportunities will come. So that is just the way it is. And maybe I should also chip in. I'm not major, right? But in my own tech area that I specialize in, which is a product marketing, right? I actually turn down offers from companies. There are many times organizations have invited me, I've mentioned my price, and they said no, and that was just it. And I just left. So why am I saying this? When you are very good at what you do, there is no barrier. When you are very good at what you do. So maybe that's even the first principle before we start talking about ITIL, ISO, CompTIA. The mindset must be that if I'm going to go through this part will make me a guru. This part is a great, but I must be good at what I do. I must be very good. I must be committed to this thing. That thing has to be said over and over and over and over and over. Right. So Mr. Adeboye, he has asked 4 questions, and I leave it to you to answer them.
Okay, yes. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So I'll answer the first question. So you're going into a company, you think you're going to be the only guy there. No, that's, I would say, very, very unlikely, except you are going into a 3-man company or a 4-man company. So, which in any ways, there's not going to be much to do there. So if you are going into a mid-size or I'll say large team, you are going to join a unit, which people will be there already. No one's going to just let Mr. Tokwe come in today and tomorrow log into infrastructures or services they've created over the years. No, they are not going to do that. They will still give you training. So you have to go through an onboarding process where you learn, you first of all, you even go through the company's rules and regulations. You sign different documents, NDAs, non-disclosure agreement. You sign different things. You understand what they are doing. Then you start reading their terms and conditions. There are lots of companies, you get a job with them and they'll tell you, if you leave us in the next 2 years, you cannot work with any of our competitors, just because they know what they are going to train you on and what you can take out of them. You must not do this. You can't do this. You can't do this. I've worked in a company that said, if I leave there, I cannot work with any company in that sector. So they are going to take their time to train you for you to understand what they are doing, how they are doing it, the process they are doing it. And if there is no one in the team or anything, there's something they do called shadow IT and outsourcing. The outsourcing guys are going to be the one to tell you what to do, how to do it, and what to do. But again, if you're in a big firm and you're the only IT guy, 99% of the time, you're just going to be doing contract management. That's all I'll tell you, because you can't do everything. You can't be the networking guy, be this guy, be the other guy, be the other guy. So you just need to know the kind of team you are going into, which they will tell you. So from you knowing the kind of team you are going into, people are going to interview you. You know, who are they working for the company? If they are working for the company, most likely 1 or 2 people there are going to be on the team. From there, you can know. Then again, with CISA and GRC. So what CISA is, Certified Information Security Auditor. What's GRC? Governance, Risk and Compliance. So CISA is good with GRC because GRC, the auditors, what the auditors do is check what the GRC guys did and see if they are actually in compliance. So I'd say it's 60-70% relevant. Then we question about is it saying a recruiter is asking what company you've worked for before or how much you've earned before? Again, you can tell them you've signed a non-disclosure agreement that till your onboarding process, you can now tell them. You can give them non-disclosure activity because, again, recruiters do that as, what's it called? To harvest information to see, oh, this person is coming from this company, this person is coming from this company. If you have a job for someone, is of the right skill, you give him the offer. That's what your reference purpose is for, to know where you previously worked, not them asking you at the beginning. I hope that's okay for Mr. Tokwe.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Only the open to work that I mentioned on LinkedIn.
Yeah, to me, it's left is I don't see anything wrong with it, and I don't see anything bad with it. But having your open to work for a very long time says something else. But again, it just shows it could be for different reasons. It could be that you relocated, it could be that you're looking for more satisfaction. You just have to have a justifiable reason for saying you're open to work, or you're I would say you want to leave your current place. So that's just but again, I don't see it as anything bad. I don't see it as anything bad.
Yeah, bless you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, I'm trying to read from the comments, sorry, from the comment section. Dion said, I have been in talk with a top talent advisor from the UK who chatted me on LinkedIn. She offered to arrange a meeting if I'm interested to travel to the UK via the talent route, although there is financial implication, but I was wondering if it's an opportunity that's worth the money involved. So for the talent route, the recruiter has no say, the company has no say. So for the talent route, you have to go through an accrediting body. They need to verify what talent you have. They need to endorse you before they are giving you the visa. So again, the recruiter can grant you the interview, see if you succeed, if you've been selected, because putting that money on the visa you're not sure of, or coming to a country where you've not gotten a job based on someone's promise is not, I'll say it's not ideal for me. So you can't just because of what the recruiter said, you are going to put money on the talent route. So it's called the Tier 1 Global Talent Visa for tech. So it has a process and it takes time. It takes about 6 to 8 months, I think. So you need to get your documentation, submit it to the endorsing body, see if they approve it. From there, then once you have that, you are not restricted to that employer. You can work with any employer. So if you are thinking of coming to the UK on that route, I would say it's a good route to come to the UK, but you should have in mind, not just because you're coming for that employer, you're coming actually for yourself to see all the opportunities you can get. Also, I'm coming. Ogechi. Also, careless disclosure is not good for. Also, careless disclosure is not too good for the job. A recruiter could also assess you on that. Yeah, again, you don't I'd say it's left for you to disclose where you work, how you work, or what you do. It's left for you. So main recruiters, if they reach out to you based on the 5-10 minute conversations, they know if you've been doing it or not. They are being trained. So there's another career called tech recruitment. They are being trained to gauge people to know if this person is good in tech. But all this, to me, I don't see as a strong reason where a recruiter will always tell you anything they want you to hear. I'm coming. Can people without IRL or citizen get cybersecurity job in the UK? Definitely, definitely. Is it necessary to change the title roles when you have transferable skills into the roles advertised? If I wanted to register, yes. Again, you can see role titles are just there. So I think I was reading. I think today Goldman Sachs has 12,000 vice presidents. But again, role titles are just there just to name things. But the cocoa is you looking at your job specification and job requirement and job duties and see if it's what you can do, what you've done. So you can change your job roles as many times as you want. It doesn't change to me, it doesn't change anything, provided your deliverables are still your deliverables. So today you can decide to call yourself cybersecurity analyst. Next tomorrow, cybersecurity advisor. Next tomorrow, cybersecurity professional. Next tomorrow, cybersecurity expert. Next tomorrow, information technology advisor. It's all the same. It's all the same. It's just how you portray yourself, in what angle you portray yourself. Just like, does everybody know God is good mottos here? So,
of course, everybody knows God is good.
So God is good mottos are calling their drivers pilot. Does that make their drivers pilots? So it shows you how job roles and titles doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. The pilot is going to drive the car. That's the main thing. So the God is good that is calling it driver, and the Chisco that is calling them captain, and the garage boy that is calling him Ogbeni, all of them are drivers. So it's the end goal we should look at, not the role title or role name. So the role name is just for filtering to understand what we are looking for. You can decide to call it any name. So I'm going into cybersecurity analyst. Will Azure Fundamental be best for me? Yeah, Azure Fundamental gives you, I would say, a very good foundation into cybersecurity analysis. But again, cybersecurity analysis is also wow. So are you going into I say most cybersecurity analysts would go into SOC. So for SOC, that's Security Operation Center, you need to do something called I'm trying to remember the name. SC200. Yes, SC200. So it's called the Microsoft. I can't remember the full name, but again, it's using Microsoft tools, Microsoft source, that's Sentinel, to do further investigation. So yes, SC200. Yeah, SC200 is good. But for you to write SC200, I think you need to have written a foundational exam, which is Azure Fundamental. So if you have Azure Fundamental and SC200, you are in a very, 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 very good position in the UK. You're in a very good position. Yeah, you can use Nigeria as your country. Just use your Nigerian passport. It's as simple as that. It's not restricted to, that's the thing about cybersecurity. It's not restricted to this location, that location, that location, this location. Yeah, are you Nigerian? Yeah, just put Nigerian. That's as simple as that. Dion, is there any question? Dion, your hand is up.
No, Dion has asked the question via chat anyway, so.
Yes,
okay.
I actually wanted to clarify something. Thank you, Mr. Adibara, for your response and everything on the call. I just wanted to chip in. The offer, or rather the request that was made on LinkedIn for as far it's not actually like the recruiter. They are actually the global visa people. They are all UK citizens, route people. So what they do basically is they head this movement. So they take you through all the process and everything, and they promise that they are going to find you a job before you go. So it's not like you're going to get there before, so, but all the same, I just wanted to, being in the UK and being versatile with most of these routes and all, you will definitely have a better insight as to whether how viable and how it actually runs. That was why I asked the question.
Again, something that just made me laugh, and I would just, based on what you just said, I would just advise not to go for it. Nobody can promise you a job. If they've said that, that's a red flag. No one can promise you a job. If that was what they said, it's a scam. It's as simple as that. No one can promise you a job. I don't know if it makes sense to me, that no one can, even in Nigeria, nobody can promise you a job. Nobody. Even remember all those our uncle that would say, go party school, finish school and come. Where are they now?
Yeah, many when
So
I finish
no,
this service. Many.
so no.
When I finish this service like this, the uncles kept quiet.
So nobody can promise you a job. If they've said that, nobody can promise you that. So that's something I'll just say is already a red flag for me.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, Mr. Jide, please.
Okay, Mr. Jide, over to you. Mr. Jide. Okay, while we are waiting for Mr. Jide, can Mr. Adebayo just give the student, okay, I think he wants me to unmute him.
Okay.
The assignments for, I've unmuted you. I think you are the one that needs to unmute yourself. I've unmuted you. So the assignment for the next session, it's been a really long session, and I don't want it to be longer than this. So you will just give us the assignment and the focus for the next session.
Okay, so I would say the focus for the next section is two things. Very easy. Firstly, I want everyone to have a book. A book. And in the book, at the front page, write why you joined the program. So that at the middle, you look at it back and make reference to it. Then the second one is, we've spoken about, I'll say, a lot of things today. I just want everyone to redigest it, see it from their view. I say, tell media, let's say next week, just come and say, okay, I'm in the, I would say, insurance industry. I think this is the transferable skill I have. So I want people to start identifying within themselves what they have so that we can work from what they have to what they don't have. So let's keep cybersecurity first, what's at one side. Let's first start with what we have to what we don't have. So let's know what skill you have, write it down in a book, what skill you have, what you've learned previously of what you've learned in the course. Then again, like I said, I can't iterate any further. Cybersecurity is an I'd say it's a field of continuous learning, continuous learning, continuous development. Even when you get a job, you continue learning, you learn. So even on your job, you could be allocated 4 or 5 hours every day. And I know most companies have huge budgets for cybersecurity trainings. So your company could allocate as much as 10, 12,000 pounds for you to train. So it's just there for you to access those funds, do the training. So it's continuous learning. So during this week, let's also just review those I would say the professional bodies, view them and see, and just come back with feedback and just tell me what you feel about them, which one you think aligns with you, which one you think you want to join, so that we can then start some alignment from there and start putting you, I'll say, in the cybersecurity part, so that you can even start saying, okay, I'm a cybersecurity professional, I'm undergoing my training, I'm undergoing self-development. So again, you won't call this period training. It's called self-development. So again, it's you developing, redeveloping yourself. So you understand that, oh, this period I undertook self-development, I did this, I did that. So again, I want everyone to keep logs of what they do. So mainly in this section where it's not core educations, just what they do. Look for jobs online. If you see anything, just pin it down. When I'm in here next week, just ask me. So basically, it's you writing the reasons why you joined the class and what you want to achieve. To be at the front page, look at the website, the membership website and see which one you can join from there. So again, if anybody can join 1 or 2, that's going to be perfect. So all these are called portfolio buildings. So from week 1 now, we've started building our portfolios. We started making it, because by week 3, 4, we wouldn't be talking about membership again. We'll be thinking about other things. So by next week, I want us to be done that, oh, I want to join this member. That's fine. You want to join in next week? That's fine. You want to join up, that's fine. So that's why I would say is the core assignment for this first section. Nothing too technical. And again, just write it. You believe in yourself. You can do it. Self-assurance is the greatest assurance anybody can give to you. Then also, if you have spare 2-3 hours every week, listen to Cyber Podcast. It goes a long way. You might understand what they are saying, might not understand what they are saying, but I assure you, in 6 months, everything's going to add up. Everything's going to add up. Every picture is going to come into place. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Mr. Adebayo. It's been a very wonderful session. And I'll drop the assignments on the students group. The director of trainings will drop it. But in case you didn't hear, let me say this. Number 1, everybody should have a book and write it down. Why did you join this program? 2, identify your transferable skills. Identify your transferable. You need to know what transferable skills are. Listen to this session again. The replay will be shared. Number 3, the professional body list will be shared on the group. So view them, try to join a few ones that you can join there during the course of the then. Number 3, listen to a lot of cyber podcasts. In the next 6 months, it will make a lot of meaning. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Adebayo, for your time. It's been a wonderful session, and I'm just looking up to the next session where we'll take it a step further, right?
Yep.
So bye for now, people. Bye.
Bye.